Grace and peace, my brothers and sisters. My name is Bishop Henry. I am the president and host of the 2014 Congress of Apostles and Bishops. I also hosted the Congress last year that we held in Atlanta. We're also holding it again this year in Atlanta. You can find out more information about the Congress by logging on to www.coaab.org. Again, that's www.coaab.org. We are endeavoring to we have put together a great conference for those that are attending this year. And I just want to flip through pages of the 2013 syllabus just to give you an idea of what we did last year. Notice this syllabus was built as a resource manual for the Pentecostal church, for Pentecostal church leaders. And I promise you, this syllabus was filled with information as well as we had our own Eucharistic worship service that was sung last year. As you can see, here's the Eucharistic rite that we used and that we will use again on this year. Last year I taught a session on rethinking the episcopacy. It was an interesting session. We didn't get a chance to cover everything in the book. We dealt with the episcopos and what the Bible calls the episcopos. We dealt with the bishopric and apostolic succession. We dealt with the bishop and simony. We asked the question and answered, did Peter ordain his successor to the throne of the diocese of the Church of Rome? We also examined the apostle meet the bishops, and we dealt with the apostolate. We dealt with the ranking versus equality in the episcopacy. Very interesting topic. Our second session dealt with the liturgy. Interesting subject because one thing that's unique about liturgy is the Latin phrase lex orandi, lex credendi. It is Latin, as you see here, for the law of prayer is the law of belief. The law of prayer is the law of faith. The church believes as she prays. She expresses her faith as she's worshiped the Lord. Her worship becomes a teaching experience to communicate the faith. And we dealt with the very Eucharistic views. We dealt with how vital worship is to the church and that worship should be done decently and in order. We dealt with the word worship, which comes from two words, worth and ship. Literally, to ascribe worth or value to someone or something. Worship in Scripture was both formal and free. We dealt with the roles of elders and deacons in the worship, as well as morning prayer and the history of Pentecostal worship. It goes back to the morning prayer. We dealt with the liturgical colors, as you can see, white, green, red, purple/violet, rose, and black. We also dealt with canon law and the ecumenical councils. Very interesting course. We dealt with what is canon law. We dealt with what is the economy of the church. We dealt with what is an ecumenical council. What is Catholicism? We dealt with the relationship of the charismatic Pentecostal church in relationship to Catholicism and canon law. Last year I wrote a whole track dealing with holy orders and the episcopacy. We addressed the episcopal orders. We dealt with the various types of rankings of the bishop, the apostle, the marks of a true apostle. Do you realize there are marks to what a true apostle is today? We dealt with what makes a bishop or an apostle legitimate in the eyes of God and the church. We dealt with the order of elders. Did you realize that the fivefold ministry operates through the order of elders? We dealt with the diaconate and the licensed minister. Matter of fact, we didn't really get a chance to really touch on a whole lot, but we also dealt with the various types of episcopacies out there. The Lutheran episcopacy, the Roman episcopacy, the Anglican one, the Wesleyan one, the Orthodox one. Do you realize that neither one of those episcopacy mirror the others? We dealt with the diocesan organization. We dealt with the cathedral. We dealt with local church organization, the pastor, the pastoral council, the finance committee, bank accounts. Do you realize every pastor should be, whether you take a salary or not, should have some kind of contract or compensation package that at least state when you begin your ministry with your church? We talked about last year how to establish a new work and the ordination program. This book is filled with information. If you want this book, you can log on to www.coaab.org and we can get it to you in PDF form for a donation, a small donation to the work of the Congress. Like I said, the 2013 book is still available. We can give it to you online in PDF form for a small donation. It is a great book. Like I said, this year we're building up on what we wrote in this book. And we're praying that everybody that comes to the Congress will be able to experience what we experienced last year on a greater level. Matter of fact, we are holding on to the words that God gave us last year, that this year we shall see greater things than these. Our God is a God of greater, and we believe that this year will be greater for everyone that attends the 2014 Congress of Apostles and Bishops being held in this great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Log on to COAAB.org and find out more information. Register, donate. Your gifts are going not only to advance the work of the Congress as it relates to training clergy, but your gifts also go to finance what we do in the community of Atlanta and the surrounding areas as it relates to nonprofit things such as feeding the homeless and clothing the naked. You can be a part of this move of God called the Congress of Apostles and Bishops. Join us today.